Page 28, E harmonic minor scale and chords. I have a whole series of videos on the scales. We cover all the major and minor scales. I would prefer you go watch the scale on E minor and do what I say in there on the beginner portion. I explain it in detail there, but they cover this in the book, so I'll go ahead and give a lesson on it. Let's review first so we understand where we are and what's going on. Remember on a major scale, because we have major and minor scales, we're talking major scale, there's a set pattern of whole steps and half steps. And we use C major because it's an easy to see the pattern. It's white keys. So the whole steps are those with a black key in the middle. So it's a whole, half, whole, half. Whole, half, whole, half. That's the pattern for any major scale. The minor scales is a different pattern. And what I like to do is I like to use A minor as my guide here, because A minor just has the white keys. There's no black keys. And you can see the pattern of whole steps and half steps. So here I'm going to go whole, half, whole, half, whole. See, they switched. It's whole, half, half, whole. Whole, half, whole, half, whole. Whole, half, half, whole. Whole, half, half, whole. I can't say it. Whole. Whole, half, whole. That's pattern for any minor scale. Well, here they're introducing you to E minor. You see, for every major scale, there's a minor scale that goes along with it. But we're talking relative minor. There are different kinds of minor scales. Just sit down and relax. Let me confuse you for a bit. There's three different basic kinds of minor scales. There's the natural minor scale, which is the one I just did in A, which is the same key signature as the major scale. And it's note for note the same. So C major has no sharps or flats, A minor has no sharps or flats, and you're just starting on an A and ending on an A, but you're still playing all the notes that would be in C major. It's just here. That's the relative minor. It's related by key signature. Well, here we have E minor. E minor has one sharp. Remember, the major key with one sharp is G major. So G major has one sharp, F sharp. E minor has one sharp, F sharp. Here. It just starts on E and ends on E. Follow our whole, half, whole pattern. It should say whole, half, whole, half, whole. So it's the notes in an E minor scale. So the natural minor uses all the same notes that the major key uses. Then we also have what's known as a harmonic minor. And then the harmonic minor, you simply take the seventh step of the scale. Remember, every note in a scale is numbered. And seventh is like the top one. It's just, in C major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's one less than that. I go down one. So the seventh step is one less than 8. So in E minor, the seventh step would be a D because it's right under E. We take that step and we take it up a half step. So instead of a D natural, we play a D sharp. That's the harmonic minor, and that's the one you'll see most in music. That's the one I cover in my videos, in my scale videos. That's the one we do. That's the one they're covering in this book, harmonic minor. You simply take the natural minor and raise the seventh step a half step. The other minor is called the melodic minor, and you'll see it in music. I have found no need to actually practice it or learn it. If I can do the natural minor and the harmonic minor, that seems to take care of it. But with the harmonic or the melodic minor, you raise the sixth and seventh steps going up. Not just the seventh. But you play the natural minor coming down. See, it depends on which direction you're going as to which notes you play. So in an E minor, natural minor is there. The seventh step for harmonic minor is here. But then the melodic minor, I'd also raise the sixth step here. then I do the natural minor going down. So. That's the melodic minor. As I said, you'll see it in music, but if you can do the harmonic minor and the natural minor, I've found I can do the melodic when I need it. The fingering is the same for all three types of minors. It doesn't change. And the fingering is basically the same as the major scale. Remember in G major, it's 1, 2, 3, 1 here. Well, same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. And the left hand, 3. But I prefer you go to my scale video on that. I don't like using music on scales. I want to focus on the keys and what the fingers are doing. And the chords, well, they're the primary chords. Remember the 1, 4, and the 5, 7 chord. So build on that step of the scale. So the 1 chord is built on step 1 here. So it would here, because these are the notes in E minor. Uses all the white keys except the F sharp. This is here. And the 4 chord is built on the 4th step. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 5th step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember the F sharps and the key signature. If we add the 7th to it, we get a 5, 7. So we got the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5, 7 chord. And we just rearrange them so we don't have to move our hand around. And that's what they're doing there at the bottom of page 28. The 1 chord is here, and the 4 chord, remember the top 2 notes just go up, because here I just put the E on the bottom. And then for the 5, 7, we're not using all 4 notes. However, remember we're using a harmonic minor, and that's the 7th step we take it up. This is the 7th step, remember, because it's 1 less than E. So we're using this chord for the 5, 7 in a harmonic minor. So we put the E, B on top, and we just leave out the G sharp, or the F sharp, excuse me. So it's here. It's like the others, the little finger goes down a half step and you use the top 2 notes. That's the 5, 7 chord. So it's a 1, 4, 5, 7. And those are the primary chords in E minor. You'll get them a lot, you'll see them a lot. So just think of them as, here, one thing, a chord, rather than, what are the notes now? I'm not going to do a play with me on this because they're just doing that. You can do that on your own. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. But again, I encourage you, go watch my scale video on E minor. I don't do the chords in the video, just the scale. That's what I'm after.